Rim Country Forum today being brought to you by the good folks at Banner Payson Medical Center, Choice Auto and Truck, the Dana Law Group, Anytime Fitness, Hospitality Wireless, Sunshine Cleaning and Restoration, and Holiday Cruises and Tours. Well, it's Friday morning, 5 minutes past 9 o'clock, 39 degrees, and well, you know it's Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for your hometown movie guys.
Crank it up.
Tina and Andy with us in the studio, still waiting to see if Craig shows up, but you know, we like to make this stuff up as we go along, so it's always good. How are y'all doing this morning?
Really excellent, thank you.
As opposed to fakely excellent?
Oh, stop.
Oh well, it's so early. You obviously haven't had as much coffee as I have this morning.
No, I didn't.
And
I'm
I'm cold but happy.
You look very ho-ho-ho-ish.
Well, I feel very ho-ho-ho-ish.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
we're
just
both
loaded with the
Star
aloha
Valley.
spirit this
Oh,
morning.
goodness.
Oh.
We're both Star Valley, and it's cold there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, man.
Boy, I tell you, and a lot of people don't realize that, but down when you get down in that pocket down there, especially down at the end,
in the valley.
you get down on Moonlight Drive down in there, and it gets a whole bunch chillier.
Tell me about it. I live on Moonlight.
You know, we all are from Valley of the Stars.
Where everyone's a little spacey.
Where there's more dogs than people.
Well, sometimes
That's probably true.
And we're going to register them all to vote.
yeah, sure. Even the ones in the doggy cemetery.
If we can register dead people and illegal aliens, why not?
Yeah, there you go. Well,
And I did, in your honor, I looked up aloha and the precise translation of it.
Oh, there's no precise translation, that's the problem.
Evidently it means life, breath. So
Well,
it's the breath of breath. That's what the words mean.
yeah. You know,
So it's
it means hello, goodbye, I love you, I feel warm feelings towards you.
and your breath is full of life.
Yada yada. Right.
Or something like that. Maybe it was garlic, I don't know. At any rate, this morning on Rim Country Forum, we also want to welcome folks that are watching us via Facebook right now. We're also streaming there. And back behind me, I don't know, see, you never can, unless you're watching here on Facebook this morning, you see Don Klein back in the channel, or back in the corner there, and he is also sharing video to YouTube, as he always does, with our hometown movie guys on Fridays, so we're just kind of all over the web this morning.
we're streaming pictures.
We're streaming live video, yes.
You're kidding? I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, surprise. And everyone is seeing your Santa outfit right now.
Wow, how cool!
I'm
Goodness.
switching back and forth between that little camera that you see over there and one that I have here, and
Oh,
so
man.
you have to just trust me on this, Andy. It's over there somewhere.
I do need more coffee.
Wait, these are concealed cameras. Anyway,
Big brother is watching.
yeah,
you.
and little brothers too.
Yes.
Hey, well,
How fun! That's great. That's a great innovation.
well, and it'll be interesting. You can look back on Facebook later on today.
Well, I will. There's
Check it out.
nothing that pleases me more than pictures of me.
It's all about Andy. Well, I tell you what, we've got a lot of different things to talk about this morning.
And before we go any further, I would like to say Mele Kalikimaka.
And a makahihiho.
And do you have the actual translation of what that means, Andy?
No.
Okay.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I like it. Well, that works.
That's the usage.
Okay.
But if I remember, I'll go to Google Translator and I'll have them break that all down. There's no telling what it really means.
All right. Well, anyway, hey, we're going to talk about some of the movies playing at the Sawmill Theaters this week.
Oh shoot, let's talk about all of them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And they've got some great ones. And now the one that I know I got a little bit of pre-publication insight because I know, Andy, that you've actually had the chance to see the new Star Wars flick.
Yes, I have.
And it sounded like you, for the most part, you liked it.
Oh yeah, no, it is, I thought it was a fitting culmination to the fabulous, incredible nine movie cycle.
Right, 9, and still, I'm always amazed, and as a matter of fact, coming into the studio now, we'll give you a little live, there you go, get a live look of,
There he is.
also Craig coming into the studio to be with us this morning.
And also looking very Christmassy.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, and as I was just getting ready to mention, I'm still amazed that back in the 70s, George Lucas had this vision of 9 episodes even back then, and it's taken this long for the 9th one to finally be done. But I mean, talk about vision, right?
Yeah, 42 years.
Well worth the wait too. This one's excellent. $44 million last night.
Ooh, last night.
They're not sure it'll be number 3 or 4 all time for Thursday night releases.
Right, and so this was an early release where people had a chance to see it yesterday.
Yes,
And-
yes.
and,
You know what? We did it last night, 7 o'clock at the theater. End of the movie, everyone clapped.
Right.
This one's good. It made up for the last one. I didn't like the last one at all.
Really? What was wrong with the last one?
So many things. It was just a wreck.
We don't have enough time.
Yeah, it was just a wreck. But I think this one really brought it all together.
Right?
A fitting conclusion to the 50-year saga.
Really? Pretty interesting. Now, Andy, one of the things, as I understand it, you've given the Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, you've given it 4 out of 5 saw blades.
Yes.
Okay. And, but by and large, I read the proof of your review, and it looked like, for the most part, you liked it.
Yeah, no, I liked it a lot. They did homage to the spirit of the Star Wars saga.
Right.
And I thought it was just really well done. There's some stuff in there I didn't really care too much for, but not very much. There's one great scene.
Well, you're a critic. You always got to have something to be critical
Yeah,
about, right?
I suppose so. But one of the cool things was, and it bounces back to the very first movie, and I'm sure you know the line, "Let the Wookiee win."
Let the Wookiee win.
They're playing some kind of
Whatever that chess with little live creatures.
yeah. So they're playing. They do that again. They're playing chess against the Wookiee, and they're trying to figure out how he always wins. And one of the guys says, "Well, he's 250 years old. He's been playing
Been at this for a while."
Yeah, no one. That's why he always wins." The other guy says, "Well, I think he cheats."
Now, you know, and when we look back at the first Star Wars from 1977, I mean, there's just a few lines in there that still kind of bring a grin to my face. You know, when they're stuck in the garbage compactor thing, and when they first fall into their, the line, "What an amazing smell you've discovered." I mean, there was different little lines like that just kind of make you chuckle. Is this most recent one in keeping with that sort of styling?
Not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
And
But there's a great heroic impulse from 3CPO that I did not expect.
Really?
And my admiration for 3CPO went up quite a bit.
Wow. Now, what about when it comes to R2D2? Is that that little
Yep,
computer still around, or droid?
R2D2 is in there, and Craig, what's the name of the new droid, the round one?
CB8 or
CB8?
CB8 too much, that's why he's round?
Something 8.
Okay. There was some eating going on somewhere. Well, anyway, it sounds interesting, though. I'm
yeah,
anxious
no,
to see it. I've loved every one of them. I would tend to agree that last one didn't have quite as much as I was hoping for, so I'm anxious to see this one now.
And because it's Star Wars, there is all kinds of little stuff around the edges that is just so cool. The one thing that really stuck in my head was, for about 4 seconds, you get a shot of 2 little, like, space puffin birds. And they're just cute as anything, and they're there for 4 seconds or something, and then they're gone. You never see them again. There's no reason why they had to take the trouble to do that, except that it's Star Wars, and they wanted to make it extra special for us.
So, and when I look back at there was that one, I don't know, cantina or whatever, where there was all kinds of unusual space aliens, pounding back a few cold ones in the first Star Wars. I mean, do they have more unusual alien creatures in this one as well?
Sure. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's kind of a Star Wars thing. You're always going to see something new and some new species out there.
Right.
I loved this movie. I really did. I thought it, like I said, it really brought the last film. It wrapped up a lot of the loose ends that were kind of left there.
Mm-hmm.
And like Andy said too, a lot of stuff from the older films whether it's only just, 3-4 seconds up on the screen, but it kind of brings you back to remember this whole journey.
So you watched the debut last night as well?
Yes.
So who was manning the popcorn machine? Oh, that's right, someone was supposed to be.
Forgot about that.
Tina, have you seen this one yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. What's your opinion of the previous Star Wars epic sagas?
I'm not totally as much of a Star Wars aficionado as my two cohorts here.
Because we love it.
Yeah, I know.
Dude.
It's a dude. But I will see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've sort of missed a few of them. I haven't been, it's not something that I have to see every single one that comes out. But there are some on Netflix, and my husband watches them, and when I'm not doing anything else, I might glance at it, so.
Well, people like me make up for people like you, because this is one bunch of movies that I
People
just
like me.
I can't wait to see this, and I would venture a guess that you'd really be missing the boat if you didn't see it on the big screen.
Yes.
It's just too many.
And I wanted to ask Craig, the scene where they're doing the line dancing?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
YMCA.
Kind of,
Wrong movie.
they are going through this, they're trying to escape from the bad guys, they're running through this big festival. And how would you describe those people? Snorkel faced?
Yeah, just another strange kind of
People.
sort of humanoid species from out there, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great scene though.
Yeah, there's about 100 of them, and it's the Moon Festival or something, and they're doing this big elaborate dance number. It's like going to Texas and doing line dancing, except for about 100 people, and they're all snorkel faced.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. I think these are all.
Wow.
These are all.
I need that ringtone.
That was somebody's phone going off.
Star Wars does do that, when they're filming these things. I think they had all those people out there dressed up like that. They didn't just do this, CGI. They go on location and they put this together, and it does. We've talked about that before. It shows up on the screen. There's a difference there.
Yeah, there sure is, and I bet it took them 3 or 4 days to film that,
sure.
And God knows how long to make up all those costumes and everything.
Right. I'll bet they had a blast doing it too.
Oh, I bet they did. I bet it was really fun.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I tell you what, we have to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out a little bit more about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Also have some other movies playing at the Sawmill Theaters that I can't wait to talk about, and we're going to be asking that question that we started on last week of your favorite Christmas movie. And we have Andy McKinney with us back in the studio, and he's got about 45 minutes of discussion on that he'd like to share, and we'll get to all of that right after this.
Already, is my sign showing up on the camera?
What's that?
Is my sign?
Oh, I like that. I didn't see that. I need to sneak around behind you for just a second. I got to do one quick thing with this other camera here. We're not able to
Did you see my letter?
see Andy's
I
presence
haven't
quite
even
as
read
much
the
as
paper
I'd
yet.
like.
Is it good?
Oh, yes.
What's that?
What's going on over there?
I don't know. We're live,
That looks like that,
I was gonna say, it looks like one of the droids, huh?
yeah, it does. Looks like
Yeah.
one of the droids.
Yeah, where's the,
Mystery 1000, Mystery
Randy, that
2000.
looks like something out of the Star Wars movie. A little droid that should be talking to us.
droidish?
And there was a little cone-faced droid too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
corners.
think that was his name, Coneface.
There, now we can see Andy more.
Oh,
We've
good.
got to get the full hat effect there.
Excuse me.
Sorry. And
It was absolutely
we've got it,
freezing at my house this morning.
Oh,
It was easy.
mine as well.
You know, it was a strange thing this morning when I left my place in Tono Basin this morning, crossing the creek, it was 26 degrees.
Yikes.
When I got here, it was 34. It was colder in Tono Basin than it was here this morning.
What?
Huh.
And we got a 7,200 and a 7,600 foot peak down there that the cold drains down off of, and so every once in a while we get colder down there than it is in Payson, and that was really strange this morning. Well, by the way, when we're in commercial break, we're taking audio directly from the board, so people are hearing. I cut to a KMOG logo, and they're hearing the commercial instead of listening to us. And we're about to change that in 14 seconds.
We need to talk real quick about our hours too, holiday hours.
What's that?
Oh, we need to talk real quick about the holiday hours too.
Okay.
Yeah.
65. That's 970-2565.
Welcome back to Rim Country. Oh no, just dry up, Randy. Quit talking, will you? Coming back to that in just a moment, but in the meantime, this morning on Rim Country Forum, we are talking with your hometown movie guys, Tina, Craig, and Andy with us in the studio this morning, and we're also streaming live on Facebook. Changed their camera angle there a little bit. You might want to lean forward a little bit, Andy, so people can see your Santa Clausness this morning. Anyway. Happy to talk about everything going on at the Sawmill Theaters, and we've been mentioning about the Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, which is just started playing a special preview last night, and is playing today at 1, 4:15, and 7:30. And every time it plays, you can watch it in 2D or 3D. Gotta see Star Wars in 3D.
Yeah,
It just sounds like it's going to be super cool. But now, one of the things that we want to mention before we go on is you've got some special holiday hours, right?
Yeah, we are open every day. Christmas Eve is one of those, a couple days out of the year, we do close early. So on Tuesday, Christmas Eve, our final showtime will be 4:15. So we got Star Wars at 4:15, Cats, Jumanji, those are at 4:15. That'll be it. And then we won't be doing those 7 and 7:30 shows.
Right.
Christmas Day though, regular hours.
Wow.
Open all day.
And do you get a lot of people come out? I mean, family gatherings,
Yeah.
like, hey, let's go down and catch a movie together?
It's a huge day. Yeah, it's a
Really?
huge day for movies, and
Oh.
we're kind of expecting snow and rain on Christmas Day, so
Right.
even better.
Yeah, get in out of the cold and all that kind of
Yeah,
good stuff.
definitely.
Good.
Makes sense to me. Well, now,
And Randy, if I may, I'd like
You
to
may.
encourage, if there are any business people out there that are listening this morning, to put in a sponsor during this hour. This is the most listened to hour on KMOG, and I would encourage business people to put in their 2 cents so that we can advertise it.
and the scientific analysis done exclusively by Andy McKinney.
That's right, I asked all 3 of the panelists what show that they listen
Yeah,
to.
they always watch it every Friday, firsthand. Well, anyway, again, we've got lots of stuff going on at the Sawmill Theaters. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, again, plays at 1, 4:15, and 7:30, and I can't believe
In which we get to see not just Wookiees, but we get to see the little teddy bear guys too.
the
Ewoks.
Ewoks, yeah. So they're alive and well still in this episode. Now, is this before the original, or is this after? Where, because each of these episodes seems to jump around in time. Compared to the very first Star Wars, this is later in.
Later, yeah. They actually did, the first one they did back in '77 was number 4. So they did episodes 4, 5, and 6. Then they did 1, 2, 3, and this is number 9. So then they finishing up with 7, 8, and 9.
So this is
the conclusion.
This is a ways down the road from
Yes.
Luke.
Yeah, one of the prime characters is the offspring of the characters in the original movie, so it's a generation later.
Oh, okay, interesting. And I just can't wait to go see it. It sounds like it'll be fun. The surviving resistance faces the First Order once more in the final chapter of the Skywalker saga. Gotta love it. Now, for people that aren't into that, you might also get a big kick out of the fact that they've taken the Broadway musical Cats and made it into a movie, and it's got some really well-known folks in it. I mean, what's the gal that writes a song about every guy that leaves her?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, yeah. Taylor not so swift. You can tell I'm a big fan, right? The problem is there's all these songs about, guys that left her, and there's never a song about her making bacon for him. So you can
No
kind
wonder they're leaving.
Exactly. I mean, that's, come on, get it right, Taylor. Anyhow, the next movie, though, Cats, plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15, a tribe of cats called the Jealousies, is that right? I don't know. Anyway, must decide yearly which one will ascend to the heaven-side layer and come back to a new jealousile life, or something like that. obviously I've never read this before, but the Broadway musical, a lot of great tunes that came out of this that were very popular and everything. Now, we were talking, I think it was out of the Wall Street Journal this morning, whoever the critic was there, well, you know how critics are, they called it a big hairball. And there was some reference to a cat box, but I don't know, it looks like it'd be kind of fun to watch. I don't know, have you seen it yet at all, Ed?
No, I have not, no, I have not.
Andy, and have anyone seen, I've seen the trailers
Yeah,
for it.
There's definitely a lot of star power in this.
Yeah?
And the main girl is the lead ballerina for the New York ballerina or one of those. So it's pretty legitimate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good
Interesting.
song and dance.
Song and dance. I mean, it's definitely a musical.
I'll
And
definitely see
now,
it.
let's find out from Tina, because Tina doesn't like Star Wars. Is this something you might like?
Yes,
Why?
because I
It
like
has
good
cats.
song. I'm not a cat person, I'm a chow person, but.
I like chow.
Yeah, that too,
Oh, I think I'm talking about lunch.
yeah.
Okay.
I will see it though, because I love musicals.
Mhm.
And I love good song, good dancing, and if somebody is a ballerina with one of the predominant companies, definitely see it,
Oh.
yeah.
A fabulous cast.
Yeah.
Is this the same movie as the one I've already watched, Cats?
Did they make Cats into a movie before?
Yes.
I don't know, did they make a?
I have it on
Is it a
DVD.
remake?
No, this is,
Wow, interesting. Well, I'll have to find out more about now. How about you, Andy? Is this the type of thing that would draw you to the box office?
You know, I saw this in the stage play version in London,
Wow.
Oh.
and it was just tremendous. I mean, it was just overwhelming and
Well, it's
wonderful.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, and he is
Yeah.
amazing.
And when the kitty cat went up to kitty cat heaven, I just cried like a baby.
Wow. So when you see a production like this in London, I mean, do they serve tea and crumpets with it, or?
No, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get any of that, but one of the neat things that they did is the cats came up into the seats.
Oh,
Came right up,
into the audience?
came right up to you,
Wow.
you know.
I have to say,
It was really fun. It's a great production.
the costumes are really pretty amazing as far as making people look like cats and all that kind of good stuff. They do I mean, it's an interesting job.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's leave it at that.
Yeah, I will definitely see this,
Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a Arizona connection too.
What's that?
Hudson.
Oh, Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson
Excellent.
is in it, you know.
She's a Mongo star.
She is
Yeah.
an amazing
Yeah.
talent. I mean,
Yeah.
she has really got the voice for something like this. I think
Yeah.
that would be excellent. Again, it plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. It starts today, and that's Cats. Now, one other thing I want to mention real quick, that this is just taking place tomorrow, one show only, and it's part of the Faith Film Festival that Sawmill Theaters has been doing, bringing in movies with, themes of faith. And this one is Max Lucado's The Christmas Candle. A pastor who's suffered a personal loss accepts a position in a town that believes in a Christmas miracle candle. This plays tomorrow only at 10 a.m. and you can get in for just $5. And these particular faith-based movies really have been playing well here in Payson, haven't they?
yes, they have, yeah. We've got a good audience showing up for these now, and we're gonna keep doing these.
Cool. And now, is it hard to get these kind of movies?
No,
They're pretty easy.
yeah.
And how long, I mean, this movie's been out for about, this is not a new
And it's an
release.
older film, yeah, it's an older film.
But a great Christmas faith-based movie, and might be a good time to take the kids out there and everything. It's, I'm sure it's not rated R. Max Lucado doesn't do that kind of thing. And actually, Max Lucado's done some amazing works. But again, it plays tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., and you can get in for just $5. Now, another movie that has been playing, how long has Jumanji been playing now in the Sawmill Theater?
This will just be the start of its second week.
Second week, and how's it been doing in the first week?
It's
thus
done
far?
great,
Yeah.
done great here, done great nationally. And this is a great comedy.
And if you saw the first one, this is Jumanji: The Next Level, or Part 2. And a team of friends return to Jumanji.
That was an homage, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
something like that. A team of friends returns to Jumanji to rescue one of their own, but discovers that nothing is as they expected. And I'm kind of guessing that you know, in the first installment of this Jumanji, you know, people are sucked into a video game, and all of a sudden, girls are guys, and I mean, you take on the character that's in this thing, and there was some pretty gut-bustingly funny stuff involved there, and I'm assuming that much is the same in this one, Andy.
Yeah, except two old grandpa dudes get sucked into the thing too.
Oh wow, that could be fun.
Yeah.
So even more one-liners.
Yeah.
So now, and in today's installment of the Payson Roundup, there's a rather positive review of this movie by none other than Andy McKinney.
That's me.
That's right.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. One of the things that was really fun was to watch The Rock be inhabited by Danny DeVito.
Yeah, just the thought is,
It is.
Dwayne Johnson, pretty big dude, you know, all full of muscles and everything, and Danny DeVito is kind of at the opposite end of the spectrum.
Absolutely, and Dwayne Johnson did, you know, the Danny DeVito's mannerisms and stuff. I mean, it was really fun.
Oh, that's interesting. And again, this is rated PG, so it's good for everybody. It plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15, and the 4:15 is in 3D. And what did you see it in 3D or 2D?
No, 2D.
And
You know what? Oh, not anymore.
not anymore?
Oh.
Oh, no,
No.
no, Star Wars in 3D now, so
Oh, that's
all
right.
all showings in 2D.
I sit corrected. But nonetheless, still at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15, right?
There you go, yes.
All right.
And this has been in national release for only a week.
Yeah, just 1 week.
Ooh, $226 million in 7 days.
And what did they pay to make that?
$125 million.
Wow.
All right.
And you
So
know,
not quite there yet, but it's only been a week. This one will turn out to be a very profitable movie.
and I forgot to ask you when we were talking about Star Wars, the fact that it made what, like $40 million last night. What did that cost to make?
They're saying 300 million or so in that neighborhood.
You know, I just want to know where you go for funding when I got this great idea for a $300 million movie. Well, you better have some hellaciously good ideas.
It's about as close to a guaranteed investment as you can get.
Oh yeah, Star Wars
I
for
mean,
sure.
so this will go over $1 billion again. You know, we talked last week a little bit. Disney had broke $10 billion in box office sales this year, which is a record. And then
Well, if
Star
it
Wars.
did 40 million last night, it'll be well over 150 million probably by the weekend, right?
yeah, well, yeah, they're expecting about 200 million, and that's just domestic. Those are domestic totals, not
Oh, okay.
worldwide. So just here in the States.
And Andy, you're guessing it's going to do how much by the end of the weekend?
205.
200. No, I thought it was just going to do 204. Wow, 205 million by the end of the weekend. Well, we'll find out more about that on Monday. But that's
And the way you get investors into this is you start off the year with Avengers Endgame, as Disney did this year, $2 billion. Lion King over $1 billion. Captain Marvel over $1 billion. Aladdin over $1 billion. The absolutely wonderful.
it's a bit of a track record going on. there.
Toy Story 4 over $1 billion. Frozen 2 over $1 billion.
Wow, that's crazy.
40 cents of every box office dollar in 19 or 20, what?
What year are we in now?
Yeah, what century am I in? In 2019 has gone to Disney. 40 cents on the dollar
Wow.
to Disney alone. And everybody else has to scramble for the rest of it.
Wow.
They should just make better movies, that's what I think.
I guess.
And that's not a trend that they're going to be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, I bet.
Disney has every intention of being, you know, top dog here for at least the next 4 or 5 years.
Right, makes sense. And Tina, we need to find out from you. I'm going to switch gears again, hopefully without giving everybody whiplash, and go back to Jumanji again. Now, you saw the original Jumanji movie,
I
didn't you?
did, with Robin Williams,
Yeah.
and then the other, the prequel to the, whatever it is, prefix, no, that's
Yeah.
not.
Have you seen the latest installment?
Not yet, but I will.
Yeah. Are you going to the movies today?
I am, but I'm going to the Valley to see Jewel, which is the
Oh,
Clint
that's right.
Eastwood, because Craig, we haven't brought it up yet here.
Going to the Valley?
Yeah, I know, I gotta go to the Valley, because I gotta support Clint. Clint is the man.
And that movie, again, for people that aren't familiar, is about the guy that was falsely accused of being the bomber, right?
Yes, at the Olympics.
Right.
And a very sad story, and it has to do with the corruption of the media and the FBI. Never happened before, of course.
Right, yeah, and Oregon maybe. Huh?
Yeah, Oregon.
Meanwhile, back in
Yeah,
reality.
right.
Hey, we have a caller online. Let's take a quick phone call here and find out what's cooking. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Hello. And that's what's cooking on the phone.
Good for you,
So,
Randy. That's nicely done.
We try to, get them taken care of quickly, but I think we might have scared them away or something. Anyway, we have to take a fast break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more with your hometown movie guys. Got some other movies playing, and we have some other ones coming our way here soon, but a whole bunch more to talk about, and be thinking about your favorite Christmas movie. We'll find out more about that right after this.
Your will, living trust, or power of attorney documents
I read the
should be in
dual
place in order to avoid
floppy.
the time and
No, it's not
expense
doing
of
well,
probate
which
court
is,
proceedings. These documents should be
It's
reviewed.
not a happy topic, and it's not a
Years
Christmas
ago,
movie.
the team of
So,
lawyers at the
maybe
Dana Law Group
but I don't
are
think
experienced
Clint
in
cares. I
all
mean, he's
areas of
89, he
estate
just
planning
does
and
what he
take
does.
pride in helping families in Mason
But
prepare these
I'm
vital
going down to
documents.
see that.
Protect your
It's-
family's
really
future
wanna
now. Free initial
Support
consultation.
Clint.
Call the Dana Law Group at
Yeah, no, that makes
928
sense.
Although what I've read kind of is
Yes,
discouraging, that the main
4440,
characters,
or go online to
the actors who play the main
DanaLawGroup.com.
characters are all hard
Your
leftists.
KMOG Rim Country weather
Oh.
forecast for this Friday,
They're all what?
December 20th.
Hard
It's going to be
leftists.
sunny in
Oh,
Rim
really?
Country
And
today.
so I'm gonna
Mason's high,
have
right
to
around
do a little
57 degrees.
Say hello.
We'll be looking for a high of 46 up on
Good morning,
top of
KMOG.
the
Are you calling for the talk show?
And our neighbors to the south end, Tonto Basin, and those headed out to Roosevelt Lake, your high on this Friday, 63 degrees.
Okay, I'll let him know.
There may be a
Thanks.
chance for a white
All right.
Christmas in Rim Country. When can you expect all that to start? A complete
Well, not-
seven-day forecast is coming
Not
up.
all of the critics are in this room right now.
Station.
Oh,
Someone just called in. I don't want to say it on the air. You can say it, but, well, I guess I'll just wait till we get on the air.
all right then.
Can't
We're gonna call. They can sit and wait, because I have to
At Anytime Fitness.
Take the
get
first
ready to
step.
talk here. I don't even know what I want to say.
We believe in
Of course, I
celebrating
never
the
do.
little victories.
Our staff and trainers are dedicated to your health and fitness. Open 24 hours a day, 365 days
Leaving
a year.
Thursday, so beautiful day in the neighborhood is already gone, right?
We're
Yep.
located
Yeah,
in
Okay, all that
Church
stuff.
Care
This
at
is apparently
101
from Tuesday's
South Beach
paper.
Highway,
Nice
Suite
that they
B.
hand me outdated
Stop
shtick.
in or
We got a
call
Western coming up,
928-8001.
January
Welcome back to Rim Country Forum this morning on the show. Of course, as we do on Fridays, we have your hometown movie guys with us, Tina, Craig, and Andy, just sitting here all in their places with bright, shining faces and ready to tell us everything they ever knew about movies and a whole bunch more. But first, it's time to go to the phones because we have a caller, I think, waiting on the phone. Let's find out. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Oh, thank you. I've got hang-ups of my own. All right. Well, at any rate, we had another caller during the break. And this was interesting. The gentleman said, I don't want to go on the air, I just want to tell you, and then you can tell Andy. And I said, okay, what's up? And he said, he's got a face made for radio.
Oh!
Too
oh,
true.
duh.
True.
And now you know why we have him so far away from the camera, him behind a microphone. I mean, we're trying to help our viewers out there on Facebook this morning. But we got a strange camera, we got to fix that before next time around. But always good to have the movie guys in here, Tina, Craig, and Andy, and talking about all the good things going on at the Sawmill Theater. And as a matter of fact, we've talked about Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, Cats starts today. The Faith Film Festival, the one show only tomorrow of Max Lucado's The Christmas Candle. You can get in at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning and get in for just $5.
Yeah, Craig, maybe next Christmas we could get Greatest Story Ever Told.
Ooh,
That'd be fun.
yeah,
Good Christmassy thing.
yeah.
We still have to pick a classic for January.
Yes.
You don't have one picked up for
No,
January?
I'm thinking Princess Bride.
Ooh.
How about that?
The next to the greatest movie ever made.
No, Chinatown is the greatest.
How about Animal House? I'm a zit.
Oh,
Anyway,
great
I
John
like that
Belushi.
movie.
That would,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, and you can't make movies like that anymore. I think everybody gets offended by everything nowadays, so,
Well, The Princess Bride is just
Yeah.
such a classic.
cool.
Yeah.
And of course, we've talked about the idea of the life of Brian. That would be a fun one to pull back in.
Yeah.
We've tried to get everyone to do Amadeus before too, which was a Best Picture winner. We haven't done it yet.
And that was,
Yeah.
that's an excellent movie. I mean,
And Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump would be a good
Forrest
one too,
Gump.
yeah.
Yeah, good.
And all of a sudden,
Actually, we could do a Tom Hanks film festival.
oh, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
Start
It
with
would be what, like a
feature.
3-day film festival or something? And-
Yeah.
Jeez.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Hey, we got,
tonight.
quick, before they hang up, we have someone on the phone. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum, good morning. Hey, there you go.
That's a
Close
lot.
Encounters of the Third Kind, I like that, that's a good idea. And was there, caller, is there something specific about that movie that you really like? Right? Right? Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think that's,
Well, I think that's a really interesting point, and just a personal note on that movie. When I went to Northwestern back in the Stone Age, my physics professor was J. Allen Hynek, who was the Air Force expert on UFOs.
Huh.
And he was in the movie at the end, when the camera pans across all those faces, right at the finale. There was Dr. Hynek, and he showed us pictures of UFO, dummy, the faux ones. And then there was a series of pictures, and here this guy is the Air Force expert on UFOs in 1967, 8, around then. He showed us the ones that they really couldn't debug. I mean,
Really?
Yeah, really. It was really fascinating. He was a great guy.
and that whole movie shot around, was it Devil's Tower in some of the Dakotas, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
Is it
think
not?
so.
Wyoming,
yeah.
Wyoming, yeah, somewhere up north up there.
Yeah,
Harry and I worked for
Richard
him.
Dreyfuss,
Yeah,
yeah.
Perry and I worked for him in the Aerial Phenomena Research
Oh my
Organization.
goodness, another personal contact. Don Klein actually knew and worked for him as well. So,
And again,
Dr. Hynek. I
Don
mean,
Klein
look-
hiding back there in the corner, sorry we don't have a mic on him today.
Look up J. Allen Hynek. He was a great man.
Very interesting, wow, all kinds of good stuff to think and talk about. Now, before we run out of time, because we're on the verge of doing that if we don't move along, Frozen 2, this is the third week for Frozen 2? Is it?
Came out November 22nd.
Okay, so actually
That's-
fourth week then,
And then Frozen is gonna be, the last day will be Christmas Eve.
right?
Actually, I should have brought that up before with the holiday hours. We do have 2 movies coming out Wednesday of next week, then on Christmas Day.
Right?
Little Women and Spies in Disguise. Little Women's at a 91 on Metacritic. That's
Now, is
supposed
this,
to be
is
just-
this the takeoff of the
Yeah.
famous novel and all
Yeah,
that?
this is supposed to be just an incredible film.
Oh.
But because of those Wednesday releases, Frozen's last day will be Tuesday,
Right?
and Knives Out last day will be on Tuesday.
Okay, and Knives Out, that detective and a trooper interview the quirky relatives of a patriarch who died during his 85th birthday celebration. And I know, Tina, you have been saying that you think it's just a great whodunit.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It sort of harkens back to old Agatha Christie, as Andy would call a drawing room comedy.
All right.
Yeah.
And Andy, did you do a review on the Knives Out?
You betcha.
And
You should read the paper.
I do. I have short and long-term memory loss, and I don't remember what it was I read. Did you, how many saw blades did you
What
throw
were
at this?
what were we talking about?
Who? What?
Why are we here?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember. I liked it. I'm sure I gave it 3 or 4.
Wow. Very good. So you don't even remember.
No.
You know, you gotta read the roundup. You know, you pick up on some of your writings.
Yeah, we're having senior
I
moments
should
here.
keep a list. But it was a lot of fun, and I think people will enjoy seeing it. And Daniel Craig, is the current James Bond, is just wonderful as this kind of
Yeah, he's good.
slow-talking Southern detective, and it's just so different from his other persona that it's just
Yeah.
great to see him do
And
that.
Toni Collette, I would watch anything she's in. She is
She's good.
just
Yeah, I like
amazing.
her.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, now, we have to take one last quick break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about your favorite Christmas movie, and Andy has some points that he'd like to share. We'd like to hear from you, too. I mean, there's not a, when you think of Christmas movies, I mean, you know, other than Die Hard, which is, I know, the first movie that always comes to everybody's mind.
First comes to my mind.
Yeah, but other than that, there's a lot of other, not a lot, but there's a number of other Christmas movies that seem to come out, you know, year after year after year, and it becomes kind of a tradition to watch. But we want to find out what your favorite Christmas movie is, and we'll find out more about that right after this.
At Banner Basin Medical Center, we have a new way of looking at healthcare with our new telemedicine program. What is telemedicine? Well,
Who was that said I had a face for radio?
I have no idea.
it's also
That was not a familiar voice. And I'm usually pretty good with voices, but I couldn't. And then what was with this guy that? Well, I got to talk quick before you hang up on me. It's like I'm hanging up on people. I hang up on the. If you'd like to make a call. She's telling me to hang up. All right, so 10 seconds. Here we go.
Ooh. Greetings from everyone here at Choice Auto and Truck, wishing you and your family a happy and prosperous new year.
Ho, ho, ho. Welcome back to Rim Country Forum. 15 minutes in front of 10 o'clock, 44 degrees. Looking for that high today of 57. And going to give you a complete look at your 7-day forecast that includes the possibility of a white Christmas. So we'll find out more about that coming up in just a little bit. In the meantime, we're talking today with your hometown movie guys, Tina, Craig, and Andy. And in our last 15 minutes here, we want to just talk about favorite Christmas movies. And because, I don't know if we had the camera on, Tina, when I mentioned, you know, everybody thinking about Die Hard when it comes to Christmas movies, and the fact that your eyes literally rolled all the way back in your head.
They rolled back into the back studio. I mean, I love Bruce Willis, I love Die Hard, but come on, a Christmas movie.
Exactly.
I know it takes place at Christmas. That is the big joke. I mean, oh yeah.
Obviously, tongue implanted firmly in cheek.
Indeed.
But now with you, when you think of the ultimate Christmas movie, I mean, the quintessential Christmas movie, I'm guessing what, Charlie Brown Christmas?
No.
Oh, no, okay.
No, but I like that.
Okay.
But Miracle on 34th Street, and people forget the beautiful, wonderful, talented, and very doomed Natalie Wood was in that
Oh,
as a
that's right.
child.
I didn't know that.
Yes, this was made in 1947, and also A Christmas Carol. Oh my goodness, how many times has that been remade? I even looked it up. 1910, 1923, 38, 51, 70, 84, 88, and 2009, and I mean, there are other ones.
Okay, well, you
too.
know a lot of details about that.
Yeah.
I got a trivia question for you.
Yeah.
What was the opening line to that movie, that story?
Scrooge was dead.
No, Marley was.
Marley was dead.
Not only dead,
yes.
Marley was dead as a doornail.
Yes, dead as a doornail.
Yeah.
Charles Dickens, he knew how to write
He
an
was,
amazing
you know, he was
story.
literally full of the Dickens.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
And
just
It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. I mean, these are the real meaning of Christmas
But I
movies.
asked you what your favorite one was, not
Yeah,
give
but
us
I
a
got
whole list.
I got 3.
Okay. Hey, we have a caller online. We got to go to the phones here real quick, and then we're going to find out Andy and Craig's opinions as well. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Hey there.
Joyeux Noël. Yes, ma'am.
Smelly what?
And a makahikiho.
That sounds like something you say when you're getting tickled or something. Huh?
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh.
I'm guessing he has trouble with Christmas lights, or?
Oh,
Hey, we'll keep that just between us. We won't say anything to the public about that.
yeah. Yeah.
And you know, that's the
Yes,
only
beautiful.
time that Linus ever let go of his blanket. And as he starts to do that, it's another one of these little messages that goes on that you can easily overlook, but he drops his blanket and then eventually wraps it around the base of the little sickly Christmas tree thing and everything.
Whoa,
The
that's,
best Christmas, I don't think I've ever heard
I'll
of
have to
that.
check that out, because I don't even know about that. Yeah.
Well, look it up under Hot Lips Houlihan.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, thanks for the phone call, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And, okay, Andy, spill it, favorite Christmas movie of all time?
He's gonna say Die Hard, just let's say it.
Come on,
No.
you're still thinking about this?
I
Had a whole
I
week
had-
to prepare for this.
I had one all set, and then I forgot what it was.
Yeah. Where's the Geritol when we need it around here anyway? Do they still make
Ask
Geritol?
Craig.
Yeah. All right, Craig, so your favorite Christmas movie, and while Andy
yeah.
tries to recover from dementia here suddenly?
Now, you know, I gotta go with the Chevy Chase, Christmas
Oh,
Vacation.
Christmas Vacation, yeah.
Yeah, just the family coming over and the Christmas lights and all the.
All the overcompensation. and-
Yes, exactly, all the things the suffering you go through for
Well, you know,
a Merry
Lethal
Christmas.
Lethal Weapon was made at Christmas too, you know. There's that scene with the Christmas
That's right,
tree.
with the Christmas trees.
Oh, man, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fairly recent one called, I think, Four Christmases, that I like quite a bit, and it's a modern film, and it's episodic because people's families are scattered. You know, families are divided and then reblended. So it's a story of these people that go from, you know, their parents to their ex-in-laws and hit all the stops. And it's the first movie that I really remember with, and it's probably not the first, but with Dwight Yoakam in it. And I was so surprised to see him in a movie.
And there's a reason why we probably will never have a favorite Dwight Yoakam movie question on Friday.
Well,
He's been in two, or?
well, he's been in a few,
Yeah.
and it's usually small roles, but
With a hat on.
But he does pretty darn
No,
well.
sometimes without, and you don't even recognize
Yeah,
him.
no, I found out after I'd seen
Yeah.
the movie that
Right.
that was him.
Right.
I thought it was some guy.
Yeah, well, it was.
As my wife's late uncle would say, "I'm not bald, that's a solar collector for a love machine." Well, whatever's right, we miss Dale, you know. Anyhow,
We need to do the best redneck movie one of these days.
best redneck movie. I mean, that could go a lot of different,
Oh,
that
yeah.
could go in some dangerous directions.
Yeah.
You know, Michelle,
Cable guy.
yeah, there you go. Michelle here in the back office gave me her two choices. And when you're talking about family being separated at the holidays, what movie possibly exemplifies that more than Home Alone?
Oh,
Oh, goodness.
absolutely.
And then her other choice was Miracle on 34th Street. And I tell you, Miracle on 34th Street is one of those movies that every year, you know, it plays multiple times on some of the offbeat channels and stuff. But every time I come across that, I've always got to stop and watch it. It's just, it's a classic. It's too good to pass up.
It's
And one thing
beautiful.
I have not been able to arrange so far this year is I haven't seen A Christmas Story. Which is part of my holiday routine. I've seen it, I guess, dozens of times, and enjoy it every time I see it.
Right.
And the scene with when the turkey gets devoured by the ravenous dogs next door, and they end up in a Chinese restaurant for Christmas dinner having duck. It just cracks me up every time.
Well, anyone who's lived on the East Coast, especially in New York, or spent time in New York back in the day, the Jewish tradition, and I had a lot of friends when I lived back there, is to go for Chinese food for Christmas.
So you don't have friends now that you're out here?
I died, yeah. Duh.
Just Craig and me.
I didn't know that you liked me.
And Craig's laughing about it.
Craig's
Um,
laughing.
So that's the one where the kid sticks his tongue on the pole and,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you shoot your eye out with that stuff.
But I mean, and so much of the stuff in there is just a brilliant peek into childhood.
Yeah.
It's just a great movie and brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good stuff. So any other, great Christmas movies? Not maybe that you're the absolute best, but other ones that we haven't talked about that
Well,
come to mind?
we touched on It's a Wonderful Life.
Right.
And really, that is such an inspiring story.
Mhm.
And apparently, it was written in 1939. It was a book called The Greatest Gift, and then Frank Capra. And I would like to just touch on Frank Capra as a director, because he was, back in the day, just one of the most significant, influential directors in Hollywood. He made Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which we had at the Classic Movie, Arsenic and Old Lace, which we had at the Classic Movie. And then during the war, he made several very patriotic movies, Battle of Britain and some other ones like that. But he was really a great director. And Jimmy Stewart apparently was extremely depressed.
Yeah, you were mentioning that last week, and I didn't realize that, but I mean,
Yeah.
so you know, so many of these really great actors really, you know, take on the persona of the character that they're, you know, playing. And whether part of his depression was as a result of trying to play that part, or if he was depressed for other reasons, it certainly, I mean, the angst and heartbreak and everything that he, you know, needed to portray in the movie really came out as
Yeah, I
being,
mean,
you know, quite
a
believable.
man who is planning to commit suicide,
Mhm.
you know, to jump off a bridge,
Right.
and is saved by an angel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart was also a bomber pilot,
Yes.
and he retired as a lieutenant colonel.
Yes, he was. He was a very patriotic and very wonderful guy in World War II.
Well, very
Yeah.
interesting.
Gotta go with the first movie that ever played at Sawmill Theater was Jim Carrey in The Grinch.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
The Grinch.
Yeah.
I forgot all about the Grinch and Stole
The
Christmas.
Grinch,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and Jim Carrey also played in A Christmas Carol, by the way,
Right.
in 2009. And it had the cast of Gary Oldman, whom we love, and then Robin Wright and Carrie Ills, however you pronounce his name, from The Princess Bride.
Right.
That was in the 2009 version of Christmas Carol.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And, you know, before the Sawmill Theaters opened up, and all there was in Payson was the Payson Picture Show.
Yeah, I remember that
Yesterday's
one.
movies today. But the very last movie that they played was the Titanic.
Titanic.
Yeah.
And I had to
I
be there
saw
for
it.
that, and
Yep.
then spent the next 3 or 4 hours scraping gum off my shoes. Anyway, it was, I'm just kidding. It was only an hour. You know, there's just something amazing about certainly going to the theater, but since the Sawmill Theaters have been here, and all of the wonderful choices, and the fact that, you know, we're getting movies in as they're released to the rest of the world quite often. And then you're bringing up other classic movies on the first Saturday of the month, which the first Saturday of January is just around the corner, and you still haven't figured that out yet. Have people, I mean, any inkling as to what direction you might be going with this, or?
I
guess we're gonna have to decide by next Friday, right?
Yeah, I gotta make up mine quick. I'm
Yeah.
kind of leaning towards Amadeus.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a film that, it's not particularly, I mean, it starts out very fun, I guess, but it doesn't really end that way.
It's got a dark twist.
Yeah, yeah,
But
there's-
you know, the life of Amadeus Mozart was a pretty, you know, strange story.
Yes, yeah.
And this, I think they do a great job. I've loved that movie. He was a, you know, a prodigy at a very early age, and oftentimes early bloomers are early rotters, and
That was Tom Hulse.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was Animal House.
And
he brought it
Murray
before.
Abraham as Salieri, who was
Oh.
his arch rival, apparently.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they'd do a similar movie about the life of Franz Liszt. You want to talk about?
Oh, man, that was the rock star of his day.
Oh,
Ooh.
and he had, there's some amazing stories
Yep.
about back in those days, those great composers and performers were the equivalent of like our NFL and NBA stars now. I mean, they were the big deal, and they would have competitions and stuff, and I could go on and on about that one, but
Yeah.
So I just need about $30 million to make that movie, and make your checks payable to Randy, the broke guy. Anyway, now as far as the movies, again, playing at the Sawmill Theaters, you can always find out what's playing and when it's playing by just going online to sawmilltheaters.com, and you can also give Craig a call any hour of the day at 928-595-0876. Again, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker playing. Cats starts today, 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. And on that Star Wars, it plays at 1, 4:15, and 7:30. And all of those times play both in 2D, or 3D, depending on what you prefer. Don't forget about the Faith Film Festival taking place tomorrow, Saturday, 10 a.m. You can get in for just $5 and see Max Lucado's The Christmas Candle. Of course, Jumanji, Frozen 2, and Knives Out still playing for a short period of time, so you still have a chance to see those in the theaters. Thanks to our hometown movie guys for being with us this morning. We appreciate you being in here at the radio.
Thank you, and next week I'll report back on Jewel.
And we'll have to figure out what the classic movie for the first
Yeah.
Saturday of
Well, Greg may just be in charge.
I think
Yeah,
I'll just
he's-
run with the Amadeus thing. Hey, that's all the time.
Mystery movie.
There you go. That's all the time we have this morning, and it's all been brought to you by Banner Payson Medical Center, Choice Auto and Truck, the Dana Law Group, Anytime Fitness, Hospitality Wireless, Sunshine Cleaning and Restoration, and Holiday Cruises and Tours. You're listening to Rim Country Radio, KMOG Payson. It's 10 o'clock.